Methods of joint cost allocation, absorption costing. Joint cost allocation. Joint product costs can be allocated using three different methods. They are physical measures of output, relative sales value, and net realizable value. This paper explores each of these methods briefly. The physical measure of output method allocates the joint costs based on the physical aspects of the products. Attributes can be measured in weight, length, volume, or units. The physical measure of output is a simple method that any manufacturing facility can use. However, issues arise where the joint products do not have a common unit of output. Secondly, the method does not consider the profitability of each product. The physical measure of the output method results in costs that may cause management to make poor decisions. The relative sales value method allocates the joint costs based on the amount the company can obtain by selling each joint product at the split-off point. Products with higher sales value are allocated higher costs. Unfortunately, selling the products at the split-off point may not be possible. Such products undergo further processing, which means that RSV is unrealistic because it focuses on products that have no actual sales value. The net realizable value method allocates joint costs after considering the costs incurred to process the products after the split-off. The NRV is obtained by deducting the separable costs from the product's final value. The product with the highest NRV is allocated the highest cost. Of the three, NRV is the most realistic method. I would advise manufacturing companies to use NRV. Absorption costing. Absorption costing is one method used to allocate joint costs in a manufacturing facility. The final product cost is a sum of all costs incurred during the period divided by the number of units produced. Companies using this method include fixed and variable costs in valuing inventory. Absorption costing usually results in high-value inventory. This paper explores the advantages and disadvantages of absorption costing. Advantages. Manufacturing companies that use absorption costing are able to show only the per unit fixed cost during a period, which is possible since the period's cost of goods sold includes both fixed and variable costs. Goods not sold during the period still carry fixed costs but are not included in the P&L statement. Secondly, valuing inventory using absorption costing allows marketing teams to consider all inventory costs while making pricing decisions, which is contrary to variable costing, where only the variable costs incurred are included in inventory valuation. Finally, absorption costing is the recommended inventory valuation model by GAAP. Manufacturing firms that use this method are not required to readjust their P&L for external users. Should a company choose to use any other costing method, GAAP requires them to readjust to absorption costing before presenting financial information to external users. Disadvantages. Absorption costing is unfit for management decisions. It includes the fixed cost and product cost, which ideally should not be the case. Firms incur fixed costs whether or not a product is manufactured. Thus, decisions to discontinue a product based on absorption costing are likely to be wrong. Secondly, absorption costing results in inflated profit figures for the business because it excludes part of the period's fixed costs from the period's expenses. Recommendation. The advantages of absorption costing outweigh the disadvantages. I recommend that companies use this method for day-to-day business decisions. However, if a product needs to be discontinued, the decision should not be based on this method.